Chapter 73 Sacredness of Health. Satan comes to man with his temptations as an angel of light. As he came to Christ, he has been working to bring man into a condition of physical and moral weakness, that he may overcome him with his temptations and then triumph over his ruin. And he has been successful in tempting man to indulge appetite, regardless of the result. He well knows that it is impossible for man to discharge his obligation to God and to his fellow men while he impairs the faculties God has given him. The brain is the capital of the body. If the perceptive faculties become benumbed through intemperance of any kind, eternal things are not discerned. Relation of health to character building. God gives no permission to man to violate the laws of his being, but man, through yielding to Satan's temptations to indulge temperance, brings the higher faculties into subjection to the animal appetites and passions. When these gain the ascendency, man, who was created a little lower than the angels, with faculties susceptible of the highest cultivation, surrenders to be controlled by Satan, and he gains easy access to those who are in bondage to appetite. Through intemperance, some sacrifice one half and others two-thirds of their physical, mental, and moral powers and become playthings for the enemy. Those who would have clear minds to discern Satan's devices must have their physical appetites under the control of reason and conscience. The moral and vigorous action of the higher powers of the mind are essential to the perfection of Christian character, and the strength or the weakness of the mind has very much to do with our usefulness in this world and with our final salvation. The ignorance that has prevailed in regard to God's law in our physical nature is deplorable. Intemperance of any kind is a violation of the laws of our being. Imbecility is prevailing to a fearful extent. Sin is made attractive by the covering of light which Satan throws over it, and he is well pleased when he can hold the Christian world in their daily habits under the tyranny of custom, like the heathen, and allow appetites to govern them. Intemperance degrading. If men and women of intelligence have their moral powers benumbed through intemperance of any kind, they are, in many of their habits, elevated but little above the heathen. Satan is constantly drawing the people from saving light to custom and fashion, irrespective of physical, mental, and moral health. The great enemy knows that if appetite and passion predominate, health of body and strength of intellect are sacrificed upon the altar of self-gratification, and man is brought into speedy ruin. If enlightened, intellect holds the reins, controlling the animal propensities, keeping them in subjection to the moral powers. Satan well knows that his power to overcome with his temptations is very small. A large share of the Christian world have no right to call themselves Christians. Their habits, their extravagance, and general treatment of their own bodies are in violation of physical law and contrary to the Bible standards. They are working out for themselves in their course of life physical suffering, mental and moral feebleness. Self-mastery, a duty. The body is to be brought into subjection. The higher powers of the being are to rule. The passions are to be controlled by the will. which is itself to be under the control of God. The kingly power of reason, sanctified by divine grace, is to bear sway in our lives. The requirements of God must be brought home to the conscience. Men and women must be awakened to the duty of self-mastery, the need of purity, freedom from every depraving appetite and defiling habit. They need to be impressed with the fact that all their powers of mind and body are the gift of God and are to be preserved in the best possible condition for His service.